Hey guys, how's it going? Alright, well, today what we're going to be talking about is the Solo Symphony paper dinnerware heavyweight plates. Yeah, now these plates are pretty nice. I mean, I know they say they're kind of heavyweight, but they're not that thick, but thick enough. I think they're thicker than most paper plates. And what I like about these, probably more than anything, that is not just a plain paper plate, like just white. It's kind of fancy. I mean, it comes in several different designs. Actually, you can get these in, but I like the artistic design that's on this one. Yeah, reminds me of flowers or something like that. It looks like it's like kind of an olive coloring, with a little splash of other little colors in there. And the swirls, I mean, it looks kind of nice. So if you're using these, say, to feed your friends or whatever, instead of your real dishes, it doesn't look as cheap or as like that laid back of a situation, to where, I mean, it's just like this plain get together. It makes it a little bit fancier if you use this. What's also nice is it has a special varnish on it that gives it kind of a semi-gloss appearance a bit. It shines a bit. So it's not like these flat, generic type plates, that you just use like when anybody's coming over, It's kind of nice. Do you see how it shines like that? You get that little gloss going. And these plates are really good for pretty much anything. They're good size for a decent, meal, especially for children. If you want to have like a little get together with your relatives, or picnics, or any kind of outdoor, gathering, these are great for them, because, I mean, like I said, they do look kind of fancy, and, they're disposable, and they're pretty heavy duty. Yeah. Now, these are also cut resistant. So if you're going to, say, have like any kind of a steak or any kind of pork chop, or just about any kind of meat, or anything even that you might have to chop with a fork or something like that, or stab with a fork, this has a resistance on it that makes it so it doesn't cut real easy. Because like if you're going to use these plates with meat on it or something, and you're going to use a steak knife with it, you're not going to want to cut right through the plate, and you're not going to really be paying attention to that, right? You're just going to be like cutting your meat, right? You don't want to look down and you've cut all the way through the plate, all the way through the table, because that could happen, Yeah, and you could damage the person's table. And even your own. This has a resistance to cutting. Now, I'm not saying that you can just hit this with anything and it's not going to break or it's not going to cut. It's just resistant to it. So it takes a lot to stab through these, like reasonably. If you're like scratching it with a regular knife, like a steak knife or whatever, you're not going to get through it like real super easy. You're going to have to really make a super effort to cut through this plate. Yeah. So that's really good. And I've been using this kind of plate just for, get-togethers and stuff with family and stuff for probably going on, I don't know, maybe 3 years now. And it's held up very well. I mean, it's a brand that I've used quite often, and it's never really let me down. The best thing, really the most important thing you want in a plate that these come through on is the strength of the plate. Now, these seem pretty thin, but they're sturdy. You want your paper plates to be able to hold the food, especially if you got plates that have these lips on them, where it's curved. you don't want, a lot of times people will hold it like this. So these plates have to be strong. So, I mean, if you're holding it decently, which is kind of like this, with your food on it, these plates will hold up. You can put a plate of food on there and it's not going to topple over anything. And these are water resistant, so liquid resistant. So if it gets wet, it's not going to get flimsy, you know. So yeah, these are really good and I'll continue to use them. All right, well, we've been talking about the Solo Symphony paper dinnerware heavyweight plates. All right, well, I hope you guys use this information and I'll see you again next time. Okay, bye-bye.